Is it normal to propose to the love of your life at a young age of 23?
Is it normal? I mean, when you look at like my parents' generation growing up in the 50s and 60s, most people married their high school sweetheart and lived happily ever after. And then started having kids right away. My parents had me when they were 21, and my dad was stationed in Vietnam at the time when I was born. So if she's easygoing, easy to get along with, she communicates well, comes from a good family, typically has a good relationship with her dad and her mom. She's nice to you. She communicates well. She's a giver. She's flexible. Like I says, and especially easygoing, easy to get along with. And when you're walking down the street with her on your arm, you're not feeling like you could do better or that you want to do better. You feel content with her. You have your good sex life. She likes having sex with you. She's fulfilled multiple times when you sleep together. Because if the sex is good, she's going to really like coming back for more. If the sex sucks, then probably not. And so it's important. How is the chemistry like? That's the most important thing. If you're content, does she treat you like she's really super into you? Is she nice to you? Is she kind? Does she buy you things, buy you shirts? Is she proud to show you off to the world? Is she proud to tell everybody that you're her boyfriend? Is she proud to tell other people that she hopes one day she can be your wife? Or has been asking you to get married? She really wants to get married. She wants her kids to look like you. All these things. Because if a girl won't publicly admit that she's dating somebody or in a relationship with them, then typically that means that she's not that into it. Are you on her social media? Is she on yours? I mean, these are all things that you pay attention to. If you're her priority, she's going to want everybody to know. Number one, because she's proud to have you. And number two, she wants the world to know, hey, don't hit on me, I'm taken. But girls that act like they're single and you look at their Instagram or their TikTok or whatever, and it's only them in bikinis and shaking their money makers, and there's no sign of the dude or a dude, then that tells me that she's still out there fishing. She's keeping her options open. So, and I'm not talking about somebody that you may only been dating for a few months. If you've been together for several years, and there's no sign of you on her social media or whatever, that's probably not a good sign.
I'm going to interject over here. I've never been one to flaunt any of my significant others on the gram, just because I don't like to have, like, people put an evil eye out on me and what I have. But I do put my son dude, all on my gram. So
Because he's important to you. And the reason these other guys weren't on there is they weren't that important to you.
But why is it anybody else's business to see what you have?
My thing
There's
is that
nothing wrong with
I
the
like
private
to
life.
keep.
I'm not talking about somebody that's an influencer or they do this for a living. I'm just talking about average,
That's what I'm
everyday
saying.
No.
Bob and Mary Jane or whatever.
have
If they're a
to
couple
post-
and they're together, like your boyfriend's all over your social media. Everybody knows you talk about your boyfriend all the time.
But there's
That's what I'm
maybe
talking
like
about.
5.
Do
That's what
There's
I'm saying.
always
I
a
think that there
balance.
could be like the balance. There could be like a post here, and then you got a banging body. Let's have like 100 of your thirst traps that your Instagram husband, boyfriend takes
we're
of
saying
you.
he's 23, so I'm assuming they've probably been together for several years, and they're a couple. Like you, Jade and her boyfriend, they live together, so
Yeah.
that's a normal thing. So if you guys got engaged or got married, it'd be like that would be not surprising to me. But proposing to a girl like where
that, PD?
There's no mention of you, and all of her male orbiters still think she's single, then that should tell you that you're not important to her.
I don't think that's the case, though. It doesn't sound like that's the case for this dude.
Absolutely the case.
I don't think that's what it is. I think that a lot of girls girls who have respect for themselves, I'll say, like to keep certain things private because they don't want other people who are jealous of them to put
that is a
like
thing.
a target on their back.
If you're living together and paying rent and cohabitating, and there is no pictures of, because I've had
Like at all, there's
I've had
zero.
discussions with clients of mine, And my clients are not on the woman's social media, but other dudes are there. And she's even putting dudes
That's
on her
bad.
social media that she may have just met.
That's gross.
And
Yeah,
so
no,
that's what I'm talking
that's
about.
trashy.
No,
that
that's
If
is
you're
bad.
together,
suspicious.
everybody, and you're official and you're a couple and you've been together for several years, she's going to want everybody to know about it. And if she's hiding it from everybody and there's no trace of the dude there, well, obviously that tells me on some level she's hoping to do better. She's not fully 100% all in. And these are things that you
That's
need to
not
look
good.
at. I hear what the girls are saying, and yeah, I can get their point of view, but the reality is for most people, I'm not talking about people that are on YouTube videos or stuff like that do for a living. I'm talking about your normal Bob and Jane that live down the street from you, and they've got Instagram or whatever. They're both on each other's social media. Their kids or their dogs or their puppies or whatever on social media, and they're a couple. Everybody knows they're a couple. But if you've been with a woman for several years and there's like no sign of you on her social media, but you got her all over yours, that's a problem. That shows that you're way more into her than she's into you. And if because I had another and then one of the emails I just got, same thing. There's this woman that this guy is dating, and she asked him to be exclusive, and yet to her clients and her male orbiters, none of them have any idea that she's in a relationship, supposedly. And when they ask, she tells them that she's single, even though she supposedly is committed to him. That's not good.
Well,
That shows you ain't a priority. So don't make a woman a priority in your life if she hasn't already, on her own, made you a priority in hers. And don't ask her to do it either, because you don't want her to do it out of obligation or guilt or because she's trying to please you. It's like these are things that you just look for, you pay attention to. And again, I'm not talking about you may have just started dating, you've been dating for a few months or 6 months or maybe even a year. If you've been together for several years and you're at the point where you're thinking, hey, I'm 23 and I want to marry this girl, these are things you got to pay attention to.
Well, I'm going to get back to the question instead of all that social media stuff, because it's clear he said this is the love of his life. So I'm pretty sure they're on good terms. Like they've been together for a while. I think his question's really just asking if 23 is a good, like too early for him to propose to get into marriage. I don't think he's thinking about
I
like,
was saying, no, it's not, but these are things you need to consider because, again, in my practice and all the tens of thousands of phone sessions and all the, I don't know, tens of thousands, 100,000 emails I've gotten over the last 20 years, I see these patterns over and over and over again. And guys come to me for advice is like, hey, what is my downside risk? What should I be paying attention to? And all I'm saying is that if he's saying, is it too early? And I'm saying, no, it's not, provided it's obvious on her social media as well as yours that you guys are together. Everybody knows you're together. But if she's hiding you from everybody and you've never met her parents, I mean, it's like these are all things that I deal with on a day in and day out basis with the people. And that's why they're coming asking for this advice. So the bottom line, if you're a priority to her, she's happy to show you off to the whole world. And if she's hiding you from everybody and also telling her male orbiters that she's single, is like, and then gives you an excuse, it's like, no, that's not good. So in that case, if she's all over your social media and all her social media is nothing but thirst trap, it's like that shows that you're just not that important to her. And I know that's harsh, and there'll be guys that are watching this and going, damn, because they're in that boat. And I'm going to be honest with people. Because getting married, especially if you live in a blue state, it's like, I would not recommend it. I would recommend you go talk to a divorce attorney before you even think of proposing or getting engaged and find out what the laws are. Because the last thing people are thinking on their wedding day is about getting divorced. But you got to know your downside risk, especially what happens when there's kids involved. Because it's like there's just lots of horror stories of guys getting married, having children with a woman, and she cheats on him or she leaves him or whatever, and she doesn't want him seeing the kids. She hides the kids from him, and it's just constantly difficult. He's constantly chasing her in the court system and just spending ungodly amounts of money. So always know your downside risk. Yes.
okay. Even though we're not even on the question anymore.
This absolutely is part of the question.
No.
This is part of my answer to the question.
Okay. Forget that they're married. What if they just have a kid together and then they decide, no, we don't want to be together anymore? Someone's going to have to pay child support.
Yep. Well, a good, honorable guy is going to take care of his obligations. He's going to want to be a part of it.
Not
Because
all
the whole,
time.
well, then that means you made a poor choice in who you chose to have children with. Because a ratchet is going to not want to pay.
Well, a friend of mine, not going to disclose any names, has a child, and her ex does very well. And they went to court and everything because they were married. He has not been paying child support. He has been fighting nonstop about just
What state do they live in?
Here.
Yeah.
He lied about what he makes to the court, and
so he's a low character dude. I'm assuming that this guy has considered all these things and all. That's why I brought all this stuff up, because this is important. This show, because a lot of guys are like, I just love her. She's mine. He's my girl. Because in that case, men are loyal, but women are loyal as long as, for the most part, their feelings are intact. Now, a disloyal woman, when her feelings are gone, she's talking to the male orbiters. She's going out and having drinks.
She is not a disloyal woman.
I'm pointing these things out because, again, this was a man that asked the question, and I'm trying to help the guy out.
I just think he cares about the age thing.
I think if you're 23 and this is like your high school sweetheart, and this is somebody you see yourself with for the rest of your life,
it's a huge jump, especially at 23.
Oh, well, I mean, I got married when I was 20, so...
Yeah. Like,
how'd that work out?
And then you left immediately.
Still married.
Yeah, but
still married, but left immediately.
Legally still married, but
sounds like
Elvis left the building a long time ago.
It sounds like he's been with his girl for many years, and they're still going really strong. Right. I guess it's because he's scared it's a big jump.
Yeah, like he's so young. Is it too young? Because I personally, like, since I was 21, I've been ready to be, like, in a committed forever relationship.
Yeah.
I don't really think of age. It doesn't really matter. Like how Corey said, like, unless you know everything, you know that it's going to lead to something, you know, good, then why not? You're 23, you might as well do it now. At least be engaged for like a year so you could really like get the feel before signing away papers and your life away.
There's absolutely no rush in that.
Yeah, no rush. Be engaged for 1 year, 2 years, as long as you want, but once
you do your due diligence.
Once you're ready, you're ready.
Yeah, but engagement is like a side of the trial kind of thing, you know?
She reciprocates.
This side of the couch.
Because I personally, from personal experience, you go through different stages in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different stages that you're of growth. Yeah. But I'm not saying it's a no to not get married.
Right.
But I'm also saying you need to find someone that you can grow together.
Right.
Because there's so many things that your brain is still forming into, you know,
you're
yourself.
Riding that wave.
Yeah, it's a whole roller coaster.
You're both growing.
Your 20s.
You're separately growing.
If you find someone that you can do that together with, without fail, then kudos to you. But if you're not growing together, then it's never gonna work.
You grow apart.
Yeah, it's never gonna work with that. You can't get married to someone that's, you know, on different wavelengths.
Unless she's like putting like pressure on it, like, let's get married, like,
no, that's
by
not
the end of like
but there's that scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he should have an honest conversation with her, like, I want to marry you, don't rush me, because I had friends that just, my girlfriend's pregnant now, they got married a year and a half ago. He was with her for 6 years, and a year and a half in, she was like, I want to get married, I want to get married, I want to get married. He's like, I'm gonna marry you, but you're gonna have to wait.
Nice.
And she lost her marbles. So every other day it was like...
But are they married now?
Of course.
There you go.
And they're having a baby boy.
See?
Well, once she stopped
he was vetting her properly. He took his time, and I like that.
I think it was...
Let her complain all she wants, but at the end of the day, a man's going to move at his speed.
It was a little more than that, but
6 years is a long time
it's a very long
to
time.
decide if you
Yeah,
want
but
to
that's still not bad either.
I think it's a little bit of
I think that's a
suffering.
good time.
It's a waste of
That's
time.
fine.
It's a
You
little
know
bit
that
of
person
suffering
inside
because
and out,
you know that
so
you're
I
going to
think
marry
that's ready.
that person, and that person's biological clock is ticking, and there's other
Yeah.
things.
It's just a
going on.
matter of avoiding any further consequences or any
or conflict.
hardship or conflict. Exactly. So there's nothing wrong with waiting like 6 years.
There's
I
nothing
know
wrong with it.
people from high school that they've been with their significant other for like 8
10
years,
years.
and now is when they decide to, get engaged.
Yeah. There's
It's
nothing wrong
really
with it.
about the pace of the person.
It's the pace of their individual relationship. These people.
Age matters too, though, because high school, you have your whole life to decide. Obviously, they're not going to get married
don't
at
think-
17,
I think it's the
16.
way-
I had friends I went to school with. They started dating like sophomore year, and they got married as soon as they graduated.
Well,
Perfect. It's
And
like
they're
2
still
years,
together, and
2
they lived
years
happily
later.
ever after. I was like, what?
It really depends on the person, how they feel.
yeah.
And how mature
Like,
and
they'll
how you're,
know.
how you are around with life.
Right. Are you financially stable to support
Yeah, there's a lot of
the
things
two
to
of
think
you?
I think when you're not financially stable is when it works the best because you're in the struggle together, and that makes your marriage so much stronger because you're going through these obstacles and you're depending on each other to make your life better.
And
You
that
guys
could be
have to
like a
hustle
good
together.
test
Yeah.
to see like the strength of their relationship.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I feel
So you go
like
through
when
the highs and the lows
when you have
together.
everything given to you in this marriage, you don't have to worry about anything. It just kind of flows, and it's like robotic almost.
Yes and no, but
You get the point. Not all the time, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like a struggle is
there will always be struggles.
the best for those situations.
The younger ones.
Yeah.
Absolutely.